Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced his resignation as the leader of the Liberal Party on Monday, citing growing dissatisfaction with his leadership. During a press conference, Trudeau stated, "I intend to step down as party leader and Prime Minister once the party has chosen a new leader through a fair, competitive process. This country deserves a genuine choice in the next election, and it's become clear that if I'm battling internal challenges, I can't be the best candidate for that election."
Tonight, Canadians rejected division and negativity.
According to various reports, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is increasingly expected to announce his resignation in the coming days, though a final decision is yet to be made, according to sources close to the Prime Minister's office. The sources, who spoke to Reuters on the condition of anonymity, revealed that Trudeau may step down as early as Monday after nearly a decade in power. The announcement, first reported by the Globe and Mail, could take place ahead of a critical meeting of Liberal Party lawmakers scheduled for Wednesday. Though Trudeau has not confirmed when he will make a public statement, many insiders believe the announcement will come before this emergency meeting. If he steps down, it would leave the Liberal Party without a permanent leader at a time when recent polls suggest the party is on track for a significant loss to the opposition Conservatives in the next federal election, which must be held by October 2025. While the Prime Minister's office declined to comment outside of regular business hours, Trudeau's publicly scheduled activities for Monday indicate he will take part in a virtual cabinet meeting focused on Canada-United States relations. It remains unclear whether Trudeau would leave immediately or stay on as Prime Minister until a new leader is selected, which could create additional uncertainty within the party as it prepares for upcoming elections. 53-year-old Trudeau has faced increasing calls from within his party to resign, especially as a series of dismal opinion polls have raised alarm among Liberal parliamentarians. The Prime Minister first rose to prominence as a leader of the Liberal Party in 2013, guiding the party from a third-place position in the House of Commons to a majority government in 2015. His leadership was initially defined by promises of sunny ways and a progressive agenda focused on climate change, gender equality, and social justice. However, public support has waned in recent years as the realities of governance set in, particularly during the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic and subsequent economic fallout. Despite previous attempts to remain resilient in the face of mounting dissatisfaction, Trudeau has been increasingly unable to fend off criticism, especially following his handling of key issues like the economy and immigration policy. His decision in December last year to demote Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland, one of his most trusted allies, led to her resignation and accusations of political gimmickry, further damaging his standing within the party. Freeland's resignation was a significant blow as she had been an influential figure in the Liberal government's economic strategy, particularly in response to the global trade tensions under US President Donald Trump. When Trudeau follows through with his resignation, the Liberal Party will face significant uncertainty regarding both interim leadership and the future direction of his party. Sources indicate that Dominic LeBlanc, a close ally of Trudeau, could be considered as a potential interim leader. However, LeBlanc's own aspirations to eventually run for the permanent leadership could complicate this move.
Mr. Speaker, I want to start by thanking the Opposition House Leader for his heartfelt congratulations on my new role. I want to tell him, Mr. Speaker, and all Canadians, that our government is very proud of the fall economic statement that we made public yesterday. Mr. Speaker, the fall economic statement speaks to growth in the Canadian economy. It speaks to supporting Canadians with serious affordability challenges. It speaks to a declining debt to GDP ratio, the best in the G7. And Mr. Speaker, we haven't finished supporting Canadians, something the Conservatives aren't interested in doing.
One of the most talked about successors within the party is Mark Carney, the former governor of the Bank of Canada and the Bank of England. Carney has expressed interest in entering politics and is seen as a strong contender for the leadership when Trudeau steps down. Carney's experience on the global stage and his focus on economic issues could appeal to Liberals seeking a fresh direction. The growing discontent within the Liberal Party has been matched by an increasing criticism from opposition parties. The New Democratic Party, that is the NDP, which has historically supported the Liberal government on key issues, has publicly called for Trudeau's resignation time and again, further eroding the Prime Minister's ability to maintain a fragile majority in the Parliament. The NDP's decision to withdraw its support would lead to a no-confidence vote, which would again trigger an early election.
People are right to be angry. They've got a Prime Minister who's more interested in protecting his own job than defending Canadians against Trump. We've got a Prime Minister who's failed to defend workers from rich CEOs that the Conservatives love, who continue to rip off Canadians and drive up the cost of food and homes. The Prime Minister has failed. For New Democrats, it's always workers first and not CEOs. And not CEOs who the Conservatives want to defend. So will the Prime Minister acknowledge he has failed? He has to quit.
Canadian historian Robert Bothwell has suggested that if the Parliament votes in a no-confidence motion, Trudeau's government could be toppled, forcing an election earlier than anticipated. Given that Liberals do not hold a majority in the House of Commons, they have relied heavily on the NDP's support to pass legislation. With that support dwindling and maybe gone, the likelihood of a successful no-confidence motion definitely increases.
Speaker, the Prime Minister has lost the confidence of Canadians, lost the confidence of many of his MPs, and yesterday he lost the confidence of his Finance Minister. And no wonder, because after 9 years, this Prime Minister has broken everything. He's broken our borders, broken immigration, broken housing, and broken the budget. So, when will the Prime Minister just stop? Stop breaking things, acknowledge that he doesn't have a mandate to continue to govern, and call a carbon tax election.
There is a slim possibility that he might attempt to cling to power for a while longer, though it's highly unlikely. If Trudeau's Liberal Party survives a potential no-confidence vote, the latest possible date for the next election would be the 20th of October this year. It would give him additional time to try to regain favor with voters, although many political analysts consider such a scenario increasingly improbable.
This House voted in confidence of this government just last week on multiple occasions, Mr. Speaker. We have important work to do on behalf of Canadians. We have a very important relationship to manage with the United States at a pivotal time, Mr. Speaker, and that is exactly what this government is focused on doing.
The accelerated capital cost allowance will ensure that Canadian businesses stay on this side of the border, stay in Canada, that our creation of jobs will continue to increase. 330,000 jobs were created in the last year alone, and these are good-paying jobs, Mr. Speaker. Even accounting for inflation, salaries have risen by 5%, the highest in the G7, Mr. Speaker. We're ensuring that Canadians bring home stronger paychecks and better jobs.
As Canada watches for an official announcement, Trudeau's next steps will significantly shape the political landscape of the country. When he steps down, the Liberal Party faces a challenging road ahead as it navigates leadership uncertainty amid public dissatisfaction and rising opposition. With a crucial election on the horizon, the coming weeks will be pivotal in determining the future of the party and the nation's leadership.